Konnichiwa, I'm Thomas Hendricks with Chrono24 in Tokyo, and today we are sitting down with Noah Ishikura. He rose to fame as the star of Terrace House, a very popular show here in Japan. Since then, he's been modeling, you can see why, working as a brand ambassador for several major companies in Tokyo, and he just became a new father, so we'll talk about that as well. Noah, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And Noah, to start, I want to say congratulations on your baby boy. How old is he, and are you sleeping at all?
まだ3ヶ月なんで
Yeah, so he is 3 months old now, and yes, there's been days that I have not been able to sleep. But he's very, very cute. And you know, I'm 26 years old, so I think I'm a rather young dad. So as you can imagine, I'm trying to work very hard for him.
息子にこういつか引き継いでいきたいっていうので最近それを視野に入れてこう時計を買ってるというか。
And I know you just bought a watch as well. What are we wearing today?
So I am wearing the Rolex Yachtmaster today, which I got last week. I've been waiting for that watch for about 3 years. It is so hard to get your hand on a Rolex nowadays because of the hype around luxury watches. I think it's happening everywhere around the world. That hype you can also see in the prices. The same goes for watches by Audemars Piguet and Patek Philippe. So yeah, this is the first watch I've bought, and its price has been continuously rising ever since I bought it. But this one is brand new. You can see, there are really no scratches on the watch whatsoever.
So what is it about this watch that you really, really liked, or why did you wait 3 years to get this particular one?
ずっとやっぱり一番最初がこのステンレス
So the first watch I bought, the Rolex Hulk right here, is stainless steel. And then for the second one, I actually wanted a yellow gold watch. But you know, yellow gold is very recognizable and will be immediately spotted as such. Considering that, I thought that white gold might be the better choice. People will probably think it's not that much of a difference between white, gold, and stainless steel. But for us, the watch lovers, and also from the connoisseur side, it's just different. Also being a father now and picturing myself in my 30s and 40s, I can see myself wearing that kind of watch, a white gold watch. I bought it 3 years ago, and 2 months after I had bought it, it was discontinued. So it was very good timing.
自分が30、40になった時にいいパパとしてこれをつけてたらかっこいいんだろうなっていうのですごい気に入ってます。
And so this is the first Rolex you bought. This one is a very hot commodity now, especially now that it's been discontinued. What was it about this particular one, the Hulk, for example, that that really drew you to it? Out of all the Rolexes you could have chosen, what is it about this guy right here?
やっぱりロレックス、まあデイトナがもちろん欲しいっていうのもあったし、これ多分買ったのが2年、3年前ぐらいで、買ったその多分2ヶ月後に
I think that Daytona might be more suitable for someone a bit older than me. So maybe if I'm in my 30s, I will get one.
デイトナがほぼ手に入んなくて、で、まあサブマリーナもちろんもう店舗に置いてなくて、ずっと通い続けて、なんかまあサブマリーナ都市的に
The Hulk just seemed a bit more appropriate for me. I was also thinking about buying it in black, but then I thought green is a fitting color in this case because it is the color of Rolex. So I like that it is representing the brand in a sense. So this and the timing factor were the most important reasons for me to buy that watch.
たまたまそれがあったんで、まあ黒より早かったっていうのもタイミングとか縁とかもあって、あ、じゃあもうこれ買おうって言って買った2ヶ月後に廃盤になったんで、まあすごいなんかそれもすごいなと思って。なんか縁を感じてるというか、いろんな偶然が重なってっていう感じで買いました。
Well, you certainly bought this at the right time, and as you know, this has gone up and up and up since then. Is this one that you might sell in the future, or as your first watch, is this one you might keep?
これ以上上がるんだったら、正直まあ売ってもいいのかなと思ったけど。
Honestly, I used to think if it goes any higher than this, I'm going to sell it. But now, after having a child, I feel like I want to pass it on to him. Because my father gave me this watch right here when I was 20 years old. He is 70 now.
父親が今70ぐらいなんですけど、多分20歳ぐらいの時に買った時計で、これを俺20歳になった時にもらったんですよ。
I don't even know too much about this watch. I think it was a pretty rare watch from the 1950s. But this just left a big impression on me. It gave me a good memory. So with that in mind, I am thinking about doing the same for my son and passing down the Rolex at some point in the future. That being said, if the prices will go even higher in the future to like 10 million, then I might reconsider.
I think that's such a cool tradition that you have where you got a watch from your father and then now you have a watch that you can pass down to your son. Are there other traditions where you want to pass along to your son? I know you do a little bit of jujitsu here and there as well. Is that something you'll think he'll do as he gets older?
車かなっていう多分全世界共通でそう思ってるんです
I think it is quite common around the world that people who are into watches are also into cars. You can also see that people pass on their used cars like a Porsche to their children.
メ車を受け継ぐみたいなのがやっぱすごいあるんで日本だと多分あんま車を受け継ぐってないと思うんですけど僕も一応その
May not be too common in Japan, but I can definitely see it overseas. So I want to push that a little bit here in Japan. So I am thinking about also giving my car to my kid. Then again, there are various real-life issues such as parking lots. But in general, yes, I am thinking about that.
どうしようかなと思ってますけどまあまあ車乗ってほしいなっていうのは考えてます
Yeah, Tokyo is very crowded now. I think by the time he's old enough to drive, it'll be even more so. One thing I want to ask you, you're a very stylish person. How do you decide which watch to choose in the morning?
結構でも気分で選んだりはあります。でもまあ服装ももちろん気にしますし。
Generally, I choose my watch based on my mood, and sometimes depending on my outfit that day. For example, some vintage watches, stainless steel and the white gold tend to match a lot of outfits like a navy shirt or a suit.
とかはこういうヴィンテージとかステンレスとか、またこういうホワイトゴールドとかもまあ分かりにくいんで、あとまあその
When I have business meetings, I tend not to wear gold watches. But I like to wear yellow gold when I go to the beach or on vacation. My wife is from Okinawa, so when I go there, I love to wear yellow gold, trying to match it with other jewelry like my rings that are gold. But yeah, I usually choose based on my mood.
ホワイトの時はホワイトにやったりとか、金の時は金だけにするとか、それぐらいかな。結構でも気分で選んでるかもしれないです。
And we have other watches on the table that we haven't talked about yet. One in here, which we'll get to in a minute, and then two that might be the most desirable for a lot of people of all the ones we're talking. We have two Moonswatches here, the Moon and Uranus as well. What can you tell me about these?
これ逆に俺も聞きたいんですけど、東京は多分出る時、
I actually wanted to ask you the same thing about the situation overseas. In Japan, when the watch was released, way too many people lined up at the stores to buy the watch. I actually wanted to buy one for myself one day after work, but when I arrived at the store, the police were already there to shut down the whole scene. There were just too many people.
ちょっとしばらく延期ですみたいな感じになって、で、どっかで多分大阪かどっかがすごいこう出てるみたいな噂があって、でそれを大阪に買いに行こうと思ったんです。
Then there was a rumor that the watches were sold in Osaka. So I drove there, but no one really knew when exactly it would be sold there, and I couldn't stay there for a long time, so I gave up on that. After that, my wife and I continuously went to the store here in Tokyo, since she also wanted the Moon watch. And one day, we were lucky and had the chance to buy one at the shop. But how's the situation overseas?
奥さんの分もたまたまあってっていう。今どうなの？まだ買えるんですかね？並んでんのかな？
Yeah, it's a similar situation in the US, I would say. When it first came out, there were lines of hundreds of people who slept there overnight, and even then they couldn't get it. And even in New York, I think the police came and shut it down. So it was very, very competitive, to say the least. I think now they're starting to happen a little bit, but I guess a note for our American viewers as well. If you come to Japan, you might get a little bit luckier than you would in the US. It's very rare to see one in the US, and I know our European friends would say the same thing. So seeing two, a little his, a little hers, is really cool to see. Now one, I think our last watch that we haven't talked about in here is this one right here. What do we got? Open it up for us. So we got a little Bulgari. I think it's the Bulgari on the aluminum. What's the story here?
これは裏事情を言うとブルガリの撮影をしてこの間で
So, I did a shoot with Bulgari. I think it's going to be published tomorrow or the day after, but my mother actually owns the smaller sized version. And when I was a kid, I kind of secretly put it on, so I have that memory connected to this Bulgari watch. And I was very happy that after the shoot with Bulgari, it was given to me.
勝手に持ち出して友達と一緒に遊びに行く時につけたっていう思い出がある時計だったんですけど
It is a perfect dive watch due to the rubber strap. I also like the Rolex for diving, but the rubber strap with the Bulgari and also with the Yachtmaster is great for that purpose.
たまにつけたりとか、サイズ感もすごいいいし、僕ダイビングするんですけど、こういうサンマリーナとかダイバーズウォッチとかもそうなんですけど、やっぱダイビング系ってこういうラバーとかがすごいいいんで、これもすごい気に入ってつけてます。
And in your professional life, you work with a lot of different brands. Are there any fun projects you can tell us about that you just shot, or maybe ones that you have coming up?
そうだな今でもやっぱその子供が生まれて、ずっと SNS とかそういう撮影とかってやってきたんですけど
So, last August, I became independent, and during that time, my wife got pregnant. So I wanted to secure time to support her, but now things have kind of settled, and what we want to focus on a bit more now is YouTube.
自分もちょっと子育てじゃないけどサポートしながらっていうのから、今ちょっと落ち着き始めてるんで育児がちょっと本腰入れてやっていきたいなと思ってるのがやっぱ YouTube も一時期ちょっとやって
We have done it before, but not in the way we are doing it now. So we are actually doing a lot of filming and editing right now. We currently have 70,000 subscribers, and our goal is to reach 100,000 by the end of the year. So yeah, we really want to focus on YouTube in the near future.
でそれを多分8月の末ぐらいから公開していくんで、やっぱ YouTube で頑張っていきたいなっていうのはあります。
And speaking of your wife, do you all share watches at all? I know you picked this one out for her. Does she ever say, oh, let me try this one for the day, let me get this one for the day? Or is it a little bit more separate between you and her?
この時計はでも結構シェアしてるかもしれない。やっぱサイズが多分この辺42とか40とかって多分
The big ones are like 42 millimeter, I think, so it is a bit too big for women, I think. So we're not really sharing those. But this one right here, we want to share.
一番男性もつけやすいし女性もつけやすいっていうので、ただコマの調整がこれ一回お店に行かないとできないんで。
The thing is, we have to change the size of the bracelet. The straps of the Moonwatches are easily adjustable in size, so those we are sharing.
借りるたびにお店に行ってコマつけてみたいな。この時計ぐらいかなっていう。あとはこの辺はバンドなんで調整ができるっていうので、結構こっちつけるね、こっちつけるねみたいなのは全然あります。このサイズとかも。
So we've been talking about watches a lot, but I know that's not all that you do. Athletic guy, doing jiu-jitsu, and a big car fan as well. Outside of the things we have here, what keeps you busy?
そうだから今パパとしても頑張ってるし、柔術。
So, regarding jiu-jitsu, I have my first fight in December. So that is what I'm preparing for right now. Also kickboxing. I also have a kickboxing fight in December. So getting ready for those fights is what I'm into right now.
日本国内でやってて3年ぐらいずっと歩かしてもらってて、でずっとミラノコレクションに出るっていう話を
There was supposed to be a show for Giorgio Armani that I was going to be a part of, but due to the pandemic, it was postponed. So hopefully this fall it will
来年の
happen.
春ぐらいの一回ミラノコレクションにちょっと出たいなとは思ってます。
Well, working with Giorgio Armani is a big deal and something to celebrate. For my last question for you, Noah, speaking of watches, getting back to that, what's next for you? What's on your wish list?
いっぱい欲しいですよね。でも
Oh,
もちろん
that's so hard. I really want to have a Daytona. I've been looking for it for the last 4 or 5 years. But that watch is hard to obtain. It seems like everybody wants it.
あとここにやっぱり自分が持ってないブランドってオーデマピゲとかパテックって持ってない。だから今一番欲しいで言うとそのパテック。
Also Audemars Piguet and Patek, especially Patek. I really like the Aquanaut and the Nautilus. I admire Patek's concept too. They really stand for the generational aspect of watch collecting and passing it down to your children. That is something that I like. So those would be my
やっぱ
choices.
いつかパテック欲しいなと思いつつもやっぱ全然手に入らないんで、まあ自分が30、40年重ねた時にまあ持ってればいいかなっていうので狙ってます。
Yeah, I really admire that you have this kind of long-term view of your collection and how it works, not only for you, but for your son as well. And I think by the time you get a Patek, it will probably be time for him to inherit it as well. So you might only own it for a year or two before he gets it.
そうですよね。まあでもやっぱりその
I really want to get the guarantee certificate of the birth year of my son. And I've been looking around for watches that I want, like Daytona with the year 2022. But it's just so hard to find one. I was lucky enough to get a watch with a year 2022 certificate, finally, and I will never want to sell it.
やっぱ息子の生まれ年の22年の保証書が欲しかったんで、まあこれはちょっと売りたくないなっていうのはあります。
Well, with all you have going on, you have plenty of reasons to celebrate and maybe, get that watch in the future. Congratulations on becoming a new father and congratulations for starting your own business.
いや、ありがとうございます。もう、まあパパとしても、まあ仕事も頑張ってっていう。
Thank you very much. I want to continue collecting watches. I've been a fan of Chrono 24 for a long time. I even did a video about Chrono 24. You probably haven't seen it, but it is on my YouTube channel. So I am genuinely honored to be part of this. And thank you very much for having me for this video.
いたら見てほしいんですけど、YouTube でもその動画撮らせていただいて、すごい今回こういう時間もらえて光栄です。
Now I'll have to see that video and I am curious to see which watch you end up with. For more, check out Noah Ishikura on YouTube and Instagram. Noah, thank you so much for sitting down with us today. Arigatou gozaimashita.
いや、ありがとうございます。Thank you so much.
I'm Thomas Hendricks with Chrono 24 in Tokyo. We'll have more videos coming to the channel all the time. And as always, enjoy your watches.